All right, let's get started, everyone. Thank you for joining. Just for disclosure purposes, today's content is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to meet the objectives or suitability requirements of any specific individual or account, or to provide financial or trading advice. We will discuss individual positions that are part of Dreyfus Capital Management portfolios. However, without proper assessment through Dreyfus Capital Management or Drosdow Financial, Dreyfus Capital Management takes no responsibility in any action taken by investors on their own based on the information contained in this webinar. The views and opinions expressed throughout this video are those of myself, Noah Dreyfus, CIO of Dreyfus Capital Management. Dreyfus Capital Management is a registered investment advisor in the state of Colorado. For more information, please follow up with me at noah@dreyfuscapital.com. And so we can go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's webinar. As I mentioned before, my name is Noah Dreyfus. I'm the Chief Investment Officer of Dreyfus Capital Management. Alongside me is Greg Drosdow of Drosdow Financial. And we'll be discussing today artificial intelligence and how it may affect investors and the investment approaches of Dreyfus Capital when speaking about AI.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah. All right, well, we'll get started. So again, Noah, thanks for the great introduction and some context on my end. As Noah mentioned, my name is Greg Drosdow, been an advisor for about a decade with Drosdow Financial and our RIA firm, Certior Financial Group. We partner with several asset managers, Noah and Dreyfus Capital being one of them, in which we wanted to put together this webinar today on a pretty timely topic around AI and investing. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So Noah, it's been clear, from the market and seeing the hype around like ChatGPT that investors are clearly enthusiastic about AI. And while that's true, I remember just back last year when the metaverse was like a very big deal, and that clearly, I guess, kind of faded now. Can you explain in plain terms what AI actually is?
Yeah, absolutely. So AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it's basically when machines are designed to think and learn like humans. Simply put, AI is like a computer that can think on its own.
Got it. And without getting into the sci-fi movies we probably all saw as kids, how does a machine or computer actually think on its own?
Yeah, so this can get quite technical. So let's try to keep this simple to understand. First, it's important to understand what algorithms are. So an algorithm is a set of rules written in computer language for a computer to follow when attempting to solve a problem. An example would be your social media feed. An application like Facebook or Instagram will analyze your interests and what you spend time reading or viewing, and based on that, will develop a set of rules for what content is shown to you, or what content it shows you first. AI algorithms are more sophisticated and complex and are programmed to process information, recognize patterns, and make decisions without explicit instructions from human beings. So in the social media example, instead of programmers setting the rules for what content you see, the AI algorithm would develop its own criteria for what content is shown based on the data it processes.
Interesting. Okay. So what can AI actually be used for? And what is the importance of a computer making decisions without explicit instructions versus, let's say, humans, and how that might actually impact society?
Yeah, so that's a great question. AI has a wide range of applications. So for instance, it can help with tasks such as speech recognition, where computers can understand and respond to human voices. Virtual assistants like Siri or Google Assistant have been around for some time. They use AI to understand our voice commands and provide us with relevant information and perform tasks. AI can also be used in image recognition. So computers can analyze and understand images, which has various practical applications. For instance, it can help in medical diagnosis by analyzing medical images such as X-rays or MRIs to detect diseases.
Got it. And with voice assistants, that technology has been around for quite some time. I think most of us might be familiar with that. Healthcare could be tremendously impactful by getting more accurate results. It sounds like using, AI and technology. But tell me though, what was the breakthrough with? Many of us have heard ChatGPT. What is the breakthrough with ChatGPT specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So general intelligence is often thought to be sourced in the processing of language and speech. The gap between human intelligence and computer intelligence historically has been in language and creative processing. So let's say a researcher needed to understand the answer to a complex set of questions with a large number of variables. In the past, they would have to spend hours and hours looking for the right data set, and this would require asking the right questions. AI algorithms can analyze and understand the meaning behind human language, or kind of reading between the lines, as they say, which opens up a lot of possibilities for communication and automation. Think about customer service for businesses where theoretically a business can downsize their call center support staff to one for every 4 people they currently have employed. Think about doing research on a subject where a complicated question you might have to spend 3 hours just finding on Google turns into a 5-second answer. Think about sales prospecting for businesses where a salesperson may have had to write a custom email to every person they were looking to sell to. Now, not only can AI generate the initial message, it can actually find the sales prospect to send it to and respond to their emails up until a certain point.
Yeah, unreal. So it seems like AI has so many different applications. Is there anything that it can't do?
Yeah, so while AI has made significant advancements in the past year or two, there are still limitations. For example, AI may struggle with understanding context or emotions in some cases. It also requires large amounts of data and computing power to train and function effectively. Often, when the answers to complex questions are opaque, AI can rely on incomplete data sets to generate false answers.
I see. Okay. So AI is pretty powerful, but it's not perfect. So I've heard a lot about people using AI, machine learning, and other terms in describing artificial intelligence. Is there a difference in these terms?
Yeah, so machine learning is a subfield of artificial intelligence, or AI, that focuses on the development of algorithms and models that can learn from data and make predictions, or take actions without explicitly being programmed to do so. So the goal of machine learning is to enable machines to learn and improve from experience, making them capable of performing tasks or making decisions without explicit instructions. Language models are a specific type of machine learning that focuses on understanding and generating human language. So ChatGPT is an example of a language model, whereas a machine learning model would be underlying to a business or an application that a business would take with AI. So language models are trained on vast amounts of text data to learn statistical patterns and structures of language, allowing them to generate coherent text. Data analysis systems focus on extracting insights and knowledge from data to support decision-making processes. The goal of data analysis systems is to uncover meaningful patterns, trends, and relationships within data to aid in making informed business ideas and decisions.
Okay, so in summary, machine learning is a broader field within AI that focuses on algorithms and models that learn from data. Language models, on the other hand, are a specific type of machine learning model that specializes in understanding and generating human language. Now that we know what AI is, can you tell us what are some of the products that are necessary for AI to function properly?
Yeah, so that's a great question. AI requires a combination of hardware and software components to function effectively. We won't get extensively into detail into the nitty-gritty of all the components of AI today, but it's important to understand that there's a hardware and software component.
Okay, so what kind of hardware is needed for AI?
So powerful computers or servers are typically required to process the vast amount of data involved in AI. These computers often have high performance processors, large amounts of memory, and high speed storage. Specifically, graphics processing units are particularly important as they excel at parallel processing, which is crucial for running AI algorithms effectively. GPUs excel at creating multiple images at a time, and this requires running several different algorithms simultaneously. Since AI processes require running several different algorithms at the same time, GPUs or graphic processing units excel at both image generation and AI processing.
Got it. That makes sense. So what about software? What kind of software is needed?
AI relies on specialized software libraries and frameworks. These frameworks provide tools and algorithms for developing and training AI models. They make it easier for developers to implement AI algorithms without starting from scratch.
Got it. And are there certain examples, like, I don't know, any names that might come to mind just with software, with AI software?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, data plays a crucial role in AI. To train AI models, you need large and diverse data sets. These data sets are used to teach AI algorithms patterns and relationships, enabling them to make accurate predictions or classifications. That's why the quality and the quantity of data used for training can greatly impact the performance of AI models. It's crucial to have reliable data.
Okay, gotcha. So gotcha. So that was kind of about what else, I guess, is really required. So to summarize, the right hardware, software, and data sets combined to give AI the ability to recognize patterns, make decisions, improve productivity on its own. Can you give me some examples of how AI increases productivity?
Yeah, so we covered the use of chatbots in customer service, the automation of call centers as one practical example where businesses can save money by implementing AI. It can also enhance productivity in manufacturing and logistics. So through predictive maintenance, AI algorithms can analyze data from sensors and predict when machines might fail, enabling proactive maintenance and reducing unplanned downtime. AI can optimize inventory management for businesses by analyzing historical sales data, demand patterns, and external factors to forecast future demand accurately. This minimizes stockouts or lack of inventory, reduces excess inventory during times of maybe a recession, and improves supply chain efficiency, allocating the inventories to the right locations where demand is going to be increased, or reallocating from areas that demand is going to be decreased.
Got it. So it seems like AI has a wide range of applications to enhance productivity. Are there any other notable use cases?
Yeah, so absolutely. AI can be used in healthcare to improve diagnostics. For instance, AI algorithms can analyze medical images and detect abnormalities more accurately and efficiently than humans alone. This speeds up diagnosis and enables earlier intervention. One particularly interesting use case is in surgery. So nanobots, which are being developed now for surgery, are tiny devices that operate at a nanoscale. This is 1/1000th of a meter. When it comes to surgery, nanobots have the potential to revolutionize invasive medical procedures, and AI can play a crucial role in their functionality. Nanobots equipped with AI algorithms can be designed to navigate through the human body to specific target sites. By analyzing medical imaging data and real-time feedback from sensors, AI can guide nanobots to the precise location where intervention is required, such as a tumor or a blocked blood vessel. AI algorithms can help nanobots analyze the surrounding tissue, navigate through complex anatomical structures, and execute surgical tasks with high precision, minimizing damage to healthy tissue. Advanced AI algorithms can enable nanobots to make autonomous decisions during surgery. By analyzing real-time data, they can adapt their actions, modify their trajectory, or switch between different intervention strategies based on changing conditions, ensuring optimal outcomes.
Wow, that is incredible. So it can obviously have a significant impact on patient outcomes and healthcare. What other noteworthy use cases are there?
Yeah, so there are many use cases that range from agriculture to construction to energy production. Let's go through just a few. I'll try to be succinct. In terms of construction, AI can analyze historical project data and use machine learning algorithms to assist in project planning, scheduling, and resource allocation. Through the usage of 3D printers, AI algorithms can automate the entire building process, from building foundations all the way to home construction. In terms of autonomous vehicles and equipment, AI can enable the development of autonomous construction vehicles and equipment, also self-driving trucks, cranes, and drones. These can enhance the efficiency, reduce accidents, and improve overall productivity. Let's focus on energy production for a second. AI algorithms can analyze data from sensors embedded in energy infrastructure and pipelines to predict maintenance needs and identify power failures. In renewable energy systems, in power plants, this allows for proactive maintenance and minimizes downtime. AI can also optimize the distribution and management of energy in smart grids. By analyzing data on energy consumption patterns, weather conditions, and grid performance, AI algorithms can make real-time adjustments for efficient energy distribution and demand response management.
Wow. So in summary, AI can analyze business trends, right, and behaviors, both on supply and demand side, to make businesses more efficient and serve their customers better and faster. At the same time, it may be hard to determine which businesses are going to benefit the most from AI integration, since the implications of utilizing AI are so vast. Especially, I don't know if it's fair to say if it's in its infancy, but of course we're a little bit along the way. There's lots more potential to even come. So thinking from an investment perspective, just like it was better to invest in picks and shovels during the gold rush, what are the picks and shovels of the AI landscape?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So thinking from an investor perspective, you always want to focus on the picks and shovels, not the commodity itself. So there are many companies providing AI services and implementation for businesses. However, I'd like to focus on a few that focus primarily on AI implementation and are the backbones of the field. So let's start with NVIDIA, for example. NVIDIA is known for its graphics processing units, which were initially designed for rendering graphics, but have proven to be highly efficient for what we would refer to in the field as parallel computing tasks, or running multiple algorithms at the same time. So machine learning algorithms, particularly deep learning models, can greatly benefit from parallel processing capabilities of GPUs. And NVIDIA provides not only the hardware, but the software through its CUDA programming model and software development kit. CUDA allows developers to harness the power of NVIDIA GPUs for general purpose computing, including machine learning tasks. It provides libraries and tools that enable efficient programming and utilization of GPUs, making it easier to implement AI algorithms.
Okay, wow. So thinking back to the picks and shovels analogy, NVIDIA would be the wheelbarrow pushing the gold. What about the backbone to AI or data, as we discussed before?
Yeah, so Snowflake, a software or data analytics company, provides a scalable and secure cloud data warehouse that can handle massive volumes of data. And it allows organizations to store, organize, and manage their data in a centralized and efficient manner. This is crucial for AI projects as they often require access to large and diverse data sets for training machine learning models.
So we have NVIDIA, which allows us to utilize data to process automated decisions. And we have Snowflake, which allows companies to store their data for efficient analysis. What about companies that don't have large data sets? How can they implement AI solutions?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question. A somewhat notorious company, Palantir Technologies, which helped the US find Osama bin Laden and extensively in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, also provides a service called Foundry for businesses. So Foundry allows organizations to integrate data from various sources into a centralized platform. Simply put, Palantir's Foundry allows businesses to integrate AI and forward decision making, even if they don't have the data sets themselves.
Okay, wow. So we've covered the broad view of AI and AI solutions. Thank you. Tell us, Noah, how are you investing in AI today?
Yeah, so let's take a look here. Once again, I do have to disclose the content in this webinar is for educational and informational purposes. Any decisions taken by investors on their own based on the content in this webinar, Dreyfus Capital Management takes no responsibility in those actions. We are going to begin a segment where we start talking about individual stocks. These individual stocks are part of Dreyfus Capital Management portfolios. However, when to buy, when to sell these are the sole decision of Dreyfus Capital, and any decision that investors make on their own, we don't take any responsibility. So with that being said, let's get started with NVIDIA. So we mentioned that NVIDIA produces graphics processing units, and that is kind of the core when it comes to the development or the possibility for AI to exist. Now, with that, Dreyfus Capital Management has been investing in the AI field for several years now, and NVIDIA has been a core position within that portfolio. But when taking any investment decision, valuation really needs to be considered heavily before thinking about investing in a company, because in late 2021, NVIDIA was trading at about $350 a share. And then all of 2022, NVIDIA fell roughly 80%. So really the question becomes is, once you have the idea to invest in an AI company, what's the next step in the process of evaluating an investment decision? So what you see on the left here is the graph of NVIDIA stock, and what we were looking for at Dreyfus Capital Management is the right time to get into NVIDIA stock. And so in late 2022, we saw several patterns, and you'll see these kind of colored lines here. These are signified by what's something called a Fibonacci sequence. And so Fibonacci numbers find themselves all over mankind when it comes to the patterns of a rosebud all the way to the formation of galaxies. We won't get too far into Fibonacci theory today, but one of the significant levels when you're looking at a stock correction or an opportunity to buy is the 0.382 level and the 0.236 level are typical locations where we tend to find stock bottoms. And so between September of 2022 and January of 2023, you'll find these two Fibonacci levels being reached. And that's where Dreyfus Capital Management started to invest heavily in NVIDIA between prices as low as 109.75 all the way up to 189. The next thing is what is driving or how can an investor from an educated standpoint find the bottom in a position like this and reestablish their conviction in terms of investing when a stock has been down 70 to 80%. And so what you'll see here on the left is an Elliott wave sequence. Once again, not to get into too much detail about technical analysis, but Dreyfus Capital saw a pattern forming within the bottom here right around October to November of 2022, where typically stocks, when they are changing direction, will move in what's called a 5-wave pattern. So we saw here 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then when they correct from that, or they change back directions within that general bullish direction, they'll make a 3-wave pattern where we see 1, A, B, and C here. And this really drove conviction for us to invest. The second piece that we looked at is we see what's called a double top here in the pattern of NVIDIA, where NVIDIA makes a high in May of 2022, makes a lower high in September of 2022, heads down, and then on its way back up, it breaks this level that was previous a resistance level in the stock. That signified to us in January, even though we had bought down in the 109 to all the way to 140 area, to essentially double our conviction in the 189 to 191 price range. We had already experienced a 30 to 40% up in the stock, but we essentially doubled our conviction at that point in time. And so thinking about where NVIDIA trades today, NVIDIA trades right around the mid 400s mark. So this allowed our investors to experience a roughly 300% return from the bottom. The second piece we want to look at is valuation. So we spoke before about how to evaluate a position or an entry point for a position once it's fallen 80-something%. But we want to be careful about investing or putting too much money towards a high conviction position when the valuation has gotten quite high. The second piece of that is even at the highs, we're going to invest some money in our high conviction positions. But we need to be able to evaluate sizing within the portfolio. So we make a higher conviction position or a higher percentage of our portfolio when we have a quality company. So when you think about NVIDIA, you think about 56% gross margins with 20%, almost 18% net profits here in the net income margin range of 18.5. That would allow us a company that's growing 50 to 60% year over year, and is also generating gross profit margins in the 50+% range, is going to be a high conviction position, even though the valuation is quite high. The next position that we discussed was Snowflake. So you'll see here also a dramatic sell-off in 2022 with Snowflake. And so here are some positions that we took, a much lower conviction position because the margins or the profit margins, instead of being around 18%, are around negative 40%. So this company is actually not profitable. So when it comes to evaluating a position size, we're going to go a lot smaller. So you see here, we're investing in a range somewhere between 122, and then we're targeting a sell price between 178 and 191 on Snowflake stock, simply because we want to be very careful about our entry points and our exit points with Snowflake, given that it is such a volatile position, falling all the way from $475 a share to the bottom at around $125 a share. Now you'll see here that we at Dreyfus Capital actually nailed this bottom almost perfectly with our buy points between 122 and 147. We never bought this position up at 475. And so we discussed another company, Palantir Technologies. So in looking for patterns, we obviously don't want to buy up here, even though Palantir is going to be one of the future companies that plays a large part in AI. We want to focus on our valuations. So here at $44 a share, we don't want to be a buyer. So how do we find that bottom? So you'll see here, Palantir right around the bottom at around between $7 a share and $10 a share, made what's called an inverse head and shoulders pattern, where it made a low, it made a lower low, and then made a second low higher than the left shoulder here. And that's a pattern where we see an opportunity to buy, and we went ahead and initiated a position right around there. Palantir, of course, now is trading around between $17 and $19 a share, roughly double where we purchased it at. And so finally, Tesla. So Tesla is going to be fundamental to the transportation industry in terms of AI when it comes to full self-driving. Tesla is a conviction position within the Dreyfus Capital Management portfolio. But like we said before, we have discipline around our valuation points. And so you don't want to be the buyer up here right before it crashes 70 to 80%. We wait. Essentially, we sell our positions. Let's look here. We bought our positions right around, between the 185 all the way down to 136 mark. And we're looking for that 0.236 Fibonacci level and that 382 Fibonacci level for our entry points. So you'll see kind of here, we bought right around 169 to 200. And down here, we bought also in the 125 to 136 range. And then our sell points, we recently, reduced our position size, not all the way, but we reduced our position size between 260 and 290 per share. So once again, we discussed earlier with NVIDIA that 5-wave pattern followed by a 3-wave pattern. So you see here in Tesla stock, we have our 1 wave, our 2, our 3, and our 4, our 5, then our ABC channel, allowing us to enter the position both around here, but also around here. And like I said, we've more than doubled from those entry points vis-a-vis now, where Tesla is trading right around $260 a share as of close today.
Awesome.
All right. I hope that wasn't too much technical jargon for everyone.
No, that was really good. Really amazing on both just the technical strategy and the fundamentals combined. So thank you. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'll just speak, firsthand. Again, this is all educational, and but some of my clients have work with Dreyfus Capital and have been pleased with performance, but also feel that the risk management is under obviously a watchful eye, as you can kind of understand the strategy that Noah's going through as well. Noah, can you tell us a little bit, what are some other challenges investors face when looking into AI companies?
Yeah, so just to recap, we didn't mention two major companies that are pivotal in the AI landscape, namely Google and Microsoft. In 2014, Google purchased a company called DeepMind, an AI research company that gained global attention in 2016 when its AI program defeated a national or international Go champion. Since then, DeepMind has made significant contributions to the AI research landscape, including extensive work in the healthcare space. And in 2019, Microsoft began partnering with OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT, and they own a significant portion of OpenAI. With that, in terms of challenges when it comes to investing in AI companies, doing so presents unique challenges for investors due to the rapidly evolving nature of the field and the complexities involved. So investing in AI requires a solid understanding of the technology and its applications. Also requires navigating through uncertainties of emerging technologies. So what might be the technology du jour of today may not be the technology of tomorrow. So changing customer preferences and potential disruptions are an issue with investing in AI. For instance, while Google is a leader in the AI development space, a majority of Google's revenue actually comes from Google Search, which charges money to businesses that are presented in the search queries. So if AI were to replace the need for Google Search and Google were unable to pivot or innovate the way that they make money, that could challenge the way they monetize their business and their profitability. So that's not to say there aren't ways for them to do so. And I have a conviction that Google will be able to monetize the AI, but understanding that AI is changing the way business is done can be very helpful in understanding and keeping an open mind when investors are looking to allocate capital and investments. Predicting market trends and identifying companies with sustainable business models can be challenging in such a dynamic environment. It's extremely important to understand that we are currently in a hype cycle with AI. So while AI is going to define the next generation when it comes to innovation, there will be winners and losers in the AI space. From an investor perspective, the best way that can be hedged is by paying close attention to valuations with companies that you invest in. So I remember back as recently as 2021, when the metaverse was the big hype cycle at the time, that premium valuations were thrown at companies like Roblox and Meta. Let's take a look at Roblox. Yeah, so you can kind of see here, huge hype cycle when it came to the metaverse. Um, also, Meta Platforms, or formerly Facebook, massive valuations thrown at Facebook, which ultimately crashed. Same thing when it came to Roblox. One of the ways that Dreyfus Capital mitigates this risk is by setting a buy target price and a sell target price on every security in the portfolio. So investors buying a stock from a thematic or story perspective will most of the time be investing late in a cycle. It's important when investing in high growth companies to properly evaluate investments within a lens of a fair valuation on a business. So just to give you an example with Meta, we went ahead and started buying a tremendous amount of Meta all the way down here at 127, and we set a sale price or a reduced price. We're not completely out of Meta. Like I said, it's a high conviction position, but between 250 and 280 a share. It's trading today around 300 per share. So it's just really important to keep an eye on valuation. The job that I do is that for you. So if you feel that's too onerous of a task, or you want somebody to keep a watchful eye on things, between me and Greg Drozdow at Drozdow Financial, and myself at Dreyfus Capital Management, that's my job. That's my bread and butter. That's what I watch every day. And I do that because I care about your money and I want you to be successful when you're investing.
Awesome. Thank you. That was great. So if there are no other questions, I believe that is all we have for this evening. I'll hold for just another minute or two, but Noah, this was really, really great. Thank you. Every time I listen, I learn something new for my own knowledge, for the benefit of clients as well. And excited to continue to watch an eye, or keep an eye out on this space and see what continues to unfold here. Really, really exciting. So thank you again. And for those of you attending, thank you for attending. If you have any other questions or comments or concerns, or just anything on your mind, you can feel free to reach out to myself or Noah. Noah, if you want to share a little bit, just because it's recorded, where they can contact you. There you go. It's in the chat, dreyfuscapital.com. Perfect. Noah at dreyfuscapital.com for email, and Dreyfus WM for wealthmanagement.com. So thank you. Noah, any closing remarks?
Feel free to contact me for a consultation. I don't charge for one. Just to have a conversation, and I will be sending a recording to all the participants in today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining me and Greg, and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.